views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of its host, Urban Arts Enterprises, its advertisers, or affiliates, and are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent. What up, y'all? It is 7 o'clock on a Tuesday, so y'all know what that means. Inside Steppin is on the air. Because we're going to do what we do. We're going to do what we always do. We're going to have these conversations. Y'all know I love to talk, and that's probably not a good thing. Y'all know I like to run my mouth, so it's all good. All good in the neighborhood. I want to welcome everybody for all of my first-time viewers and all of my, let me call y'all what y'all are. The usual suspects, all my usual suspects in the building, coming through to hang out with your homie, B Forbes at Inside Steppin', and we're gonna just do what we always do, y'all. We're gonna talk about a few things, but tonight, you guys, we're gonna have special guest on, DJ J Boogie, y'all, one of Chicago's finest and one of the DJs that was let me add, and we'll talk about it just a little bit, one of the premier DJs at Heroes when it was in its prime. And we're going to talk about the DJ journey. We're going to talk a little bit about the music. We're going to talk about his part in the history of stepping from his perspective. So y'all get ready for that. In the meantime and in between time, let me give another shout out to my man Coach Cheese over there in Houston, Texas, who had a fantastic birthday celebration this weekend. Y'all, we kicked it in Houston. We had a good time, y'all. Hanging out with my folks over there. Let me tell y'all something. I got a phone call this morning from a couple of the homies. Now, I just want y'all to understand how important it is. Look, I want to talk. Let me do it like this. This is what I want to talk about. Dallas Brown, what's going on? Sandra Davis in the building, Linda Brooks. Y'all understand something, and y'all have heard me say this before, and I'm going to continue to press this sort of an issue. Unfortunately, here in the Steppers community, we oftentimes befriend people or we interact with one another. And I'm always putting out these cautionary tales about the people that you allow in your circle because, you know, we think we know people and we want to know people. You know, I mean, we're humans are relational beings. We are built to interact with one another. That's what we are supposed to do. Unfortunately, there are so many of us who are damaged. And I say us, I use that term very, very accurately. And I'm saying us because we all have our issues, our proclivities, and our general ways of being that are not always conducive to the environment that we're in. What's up, Q? I see you. And because of that, some of us are more restrained than others about the way we deal with each other. I am taking this time to give a shout out, and this is going, look, and let me put this caveat on there, no homo. I got to give a shout out to the men in my life. And I'm saying that because when I think about somebody like Coach Cheese, and there are several other gentlemen that are in my circumference who help to keep me grounded, to help to make sure that we hold each other accountable. Let me tell y'all something. When you're in a circle of people, when you interact with other folks that are supposed to be people that you kick it with, people that you actually use the F word with, friend. These people are responsible for holding you accountable. You are responsible for holding them accountable. And if a person becomes angry with you for calling them on their BS, they are not your friend. Or better yet, let's say if they hold it against you for calling them on their BS, they're not your friend. Lady Sings the News is in the house. What's up, Queek Queek? And I'm saying that to say It is almost refreshing. You remember how when we was kids, for those of us that are old enough to remember when we could actually fight each other and then be friends later on, that's kind of a foregone uh, concept these days because kids really don't fight no more. Everybody's scared to take a ass whooping. Everybody want to give one, but they scared to take one. And as the old saying goes, everybody want to be a gangster until it's time to do some gangster shit. But here's the facts. A real friend is going to tell you when your slip is hanging. And they don't care if you get mad, but they're going to let you know. Why? Because they a friend. Just like how y'all know when you be on the set and you see a young lady and you know she dressed foul or you know she doing something she ain't got no business doing. And then you got other people that sit back and say, she must not have no friends. That's not a cliche statement. That's accurate. Why? Because we have to hold our friends, and I say friends, not associates, not acquaintances, not people that we kick it with sometime, but our friends. We must hold our friends accountable, and our friends must hold us accountable. So, as I was saying, no homo, the men in my life, not the guys, not the fellas, not the dudes, but the men. And I use that term very seriously when I say men, because my definition of a man goes beyond what some of these males are capable of. Hey, Karen Foster, thank you for coming through. Some gentlemen, and I use that term loosely when I speak of this, have not grown up yet and have not matured. But I'm happy to say that I do have a few men in my circle. And my man Cochise over in Houston is one. Josiah Burt is another one. Kurt White. I can go down a list of people, Kevin Nevels, who hold me accountable for my words and my deeds. And as I do the same for them. Oh, don't trust and believe. We have our moments. Daryl Smooth Greenwood, William Owens, Blue. These people, if I say something slick and crazy, they're going to check me. They're coming at me. You understand? Lawrence Delco in the house, Vonda Powell, I see you. They're going to come at me sideways. This is what y'all don't see behind the scenes. And I'm saying that to say more of us need to become friends. More of us need to hold each other accountable in this community, particularly because, let's face it, if we intend for things to continue to become better, we have to be better not only to ourselves, but to those around us. Karen Foster, are you causing problems? I see you. We have to make sure that we stand on each other and hold each other 10 toes down in order to make sure that the standards are upheld for what friendship is and for us just being able to connect and interact with one another responsibly. Jerome Cook, Demetra Kelly, how you doing? Arjanelle Anderson in the house. What's going on? Now, I know that's a little bit of a rant starting out on the show, but I wanted to get that out there because I have people, I have my days where we're around this community. We know about all the politics and all the nonsense that goes on. And it is, I'm not going to lie to y'all, it is refreshing to have people in my circle who do hold me accountable. And I appreciate them for that because it's necessary. And if you're not holding your friends accountable, maybe you should. And if you're not, well, let's be honest. I mean, everybody ain't your friend. We know this. And it's sad when we have to find out about folks on the back end. I don't particularly care for that, but, it is what it is. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I am about to get my first guest up here so that we can kick it a little bit and talk about this Steppin game. You dig? Now, y'all know I've done these series. Well, I'm calling it a series now. I didn't start out with this thing talking about it was going to be a series, you understand? But it is more or less a series. So I just kind of put a little number to it. I'm going to call this episode 5 because we've done a few of these, but we're going to do the people you should know. And tonight, you guys, we're going to talk to DJ J Boogie out of Chicago, y'all. Sonia in the house, I see you. And we're going to get him on the line right fast. Let me see, I got to find him there. There he is. We're going to get him on the line and we're going to chop it up, y'all. And we're going to talk a little bit about his time in the game and how it pertains to, because see, again, there's so many little known people in this game that people just really don't know and haven't connected with. And you'll be amazed at how we all manage to kind of fit together and like a big old puzzle. You know, we like a big puzzle and we all do this. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the man, the myth, the legend. He rose on, Mr. DJ J Boogie in the building. What's up, fam?
Hey Forbes, what's good, baby?
How you feel, doctor? You good?
Hey, like the old man said before, man, they ain't throwing the dirt on me, so I'm all right.
Man, that part right there. Well, you look good,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You're looking prosperous and all that good stuff. Looking like $1 million bucks over there. Yeah.
I receive that.
So, man, you know, it's good to have you on the show, brother. I appreciate you taking the time out, man, to come kick it with us.
All the time.
When we get this ball rolling, the first thing I like to do with my guests, which I want to do with you right now, I want to talk about your history in the game, your beginnings, and how you got into it and your journey, so to speak, because we like to give people the backstory so that when we start talking about the stuff that's really going on, they get some understanding about your what I like to refer to as your license to speak.
Yes, sir. And you know what? Yeah, you that's a very good word, because in this community, a lot of times people think they got a license. And you know, I ain't knocking nobody for having an opinion, but a lot of times it ain't your place to comment on certain things.
Ooh-wee.
Because you don't have the experience. You don't have the experience, and you know the history of it. You know, a lot of times I keep my mouth shut. Like when I first started, wasn't my place to comment on certain things. I didn't have the history and I didn't have the experience. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that was passed down from my elders. You know, a lot of times, you know, it's an old saying they used to say back in the day. It's one thing to be stupid. It's another thing to open your mouth and prove to everybody.
Ooh-wee. Now,
yeah.
I want to talk about something you just said. You said that a lot of people don't have license because they don't have the history. Tell me your opinion about how important or unimportant you believe the knowledge of understanding the history is as it pertains to being able to navigate this community, and particularly as a newer dancer. You know how newer people come into the game, because I've heard people say stuff like, well, I ain't trying to hear all of that. I don't want to hear all that talking. I want to dance, you know, when they learning and they don't want to hear the dialogue. How important do you think it is for people to be engaged in the necessity of understanding this culture?
First of all, I think that's a poor perspective to have in life in general, because that's something that was passed down to me. You know, it's the reason why you got 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Preach.
And I'm just giving you, you know, my experience of, you know, growing up. And I learned at an early age, you learn more by listening than you do by talking. So as it relates to this community, I can remember vividly. That's one thing I admired about Sunshine's class when she did her classes, cycles, because I DJ'd a couple of her cycles, and she spent the whole day on, and hopefully I ain't giving away trade secrets or whatever, but she spent the whole day on etiquette and history. And for me, I found that fascinating because I love history. But she covered a lot of topics that directly related to stepping. And I think it relates to your question as far as how to navigate this community, as far as what people are looking at, expectations, et cetera, the history. I thought that was brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah.
Okay. Bridget, the Vanilla Drop just said J Boogie, her DJ. That's a DJ. Go DJ. That's her DJ.
That girl right there with the mega knees.
Yeah, with the
She
with
got
the mega
knees
knees.
for real. I witnessed it. She got mega knees for real.
Yes, sir.
She was
yes,
at
sir.
Heroes one time.
No doubt.
For like about 2.5 hours.
So coming into the game, man, and we now, ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell y'all off the rip, you're gonna see J Boogie again within the next week or two, because we're doing, and I'm just gonna let the cat out the bag now. We're going to be doing a part 2 with Sunshine. The demand for more of Sunshine was so high, and she has a lot more to say. And of course, y'all know we went almost 3 hours last week with that conversation. I literally just had to cut it off because we could have kept going. But we're going to do as part 2, and J Boogie is going to be a part of that. So what we're going to do tonight is, while her name will come up, we're going to talk more about his journey in this game. So with that said, Mr. J Bougie, I can call you J Bougie.
Or Bogey. I've heard that before.
J Bogey. I'm going to call you J Bougie. Jock Sanders said J Boogie is the truth. See, there you go. You got your fans on here already, baby. AAA in the building. What's up? Kirk White in the house.
Jock, the triple OG.
Triple OG is in the house. David Calhoun, that's family right there. That's my fam right there, buddy. Kenneth Jackson out of Houston looking in. We got DJ LaVelle Ballard. DJ Vale is in the building.
Vale. The professional. I'm gonna give him a nickname. That's the professional.
Will Tanner in the house. Gerald Daly, DJ Gerald Daly in the building.
Gerald Daly.
So, in your journey, man, what got you where you decided that you was gonna jump on these ones and twos, man, and start giving it to these people like that?
Okay. For people that's been in the game for a while, I'm gonna mention some names, and it's probably some names that you ain't heard about.
Hey, Felicia.
For me, I've always
go ahead. Come on.
Say it again.
No, I'm speaking to somebody. Come on.
Okay. I've always collected music.
Mm-hmm.
I've always collected music, and I came up with a bright idea one day that, because I had such an extensive library, I'm gonna sell compilations.
Okay. Right? Dig that.
So one of my buddies was a manager at a bar in Calumet City called Mellow Dreams.
Okay.
So he told me, he said, come on up here, because there's some people up here and you'll be able to sell a couple of your compilations, etc. So at the time it was Carlos.
Wait a minute, hold on. Was that what they call a mixtape? The first mixtape?
There you go. Right.
Come on.
Wasn't even blending. I'm just putting compilations like the best of Luther, the best of Mary J. Blige,
okay,
et cetera, et cetera.
That's what's up.
It was some DJs already there. DJ Carlos, he's in Atlanta now. Jimmy Jam, and Raphael.
Okay.
And they was having like a DJ battle. And it was just crowd participation, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Judging, their reaction to certain songs. So every time Raphael went up, I would ask him, man, you got such and such song? He'd be like, no, I'll run out to the car, grab a CD, and come back and play. I'm like, play number 6 on this. Give it to him.
Right. Look, back when they was using them CDJs playing the music.
The new mark. Boy,
yes,
I still know how to work with box. You hear me?
Uh-huh.
So I did like 2 or 3 times, and Raphael turned and looked at me. He was like, you ever want to be a DJ?
Huh.
I'm looking confused as hell, like, nah.
Right. So that wasn't in my wheelhouse.
At all. And it's so ironic looking back, because hindsight is always 20/20. Because he said, you want to learn? And I was like, yeah. So I always give Raphael his credit for my introduction, but it was DJ Steve-O that actually taught me how to blend.
Okay.
It was DJ Raphael that kind of polished me and gave me the game. Another brother too that ain't even around no more, DJ Ron Brown, gave me the business side of it, because there's a definite business side.
Absolutely, it is.
To this DJ thing, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I started off, and just being at the right place at the right time. I look back in hindsight, I can't believe it, because when I first started off, I was in the club 4 to 5 times a week. And the significance of that is, there's a lot of people that got equipment, and be like, man, I've been DJing, you know, such years, but there is nothing. I'm gonna say that again.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing like the experience of being in the club and having that immediate feedback.
Listen,
there's a difference between being on the radio and being in the club. Period.
I tell people all the time, man, that experience right there for me is exhilarating as hell.
Yes.
I'm gonna have a look. I'm going to give my audience a transparent moment. Peep game. I just told somebody this weekend. I said, what y'all don't know about me is I would do this for free because I love it so much. But I can't do it for free because I got to respect my other DJ people and respect the game. Y'all got to pay me. Now, it ain't because, you know, you don't, because to be honest with you, what DJs get paid in the Steppin community, it ain't enough money for us to sneeze at. We probably lose more money spending a set rather than going to work. But
and it ain't enough to be fighting each other over either.
In that part, it
and
ain't enough to be fighting
and undercutting each other.
But the truth of the matter
is,
one of the best feelings in the world is knowing that you like the conductor in front of the orchestra. You the man that's controlling the music. You controlling the bodies in the room. You making people move when you move. That's a hell of a feeling, bro. Real talk.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let you finish. Curtis Bradford in the house. DJ Paradise. We got Andre Blackwell in the building. Marquita Hill is in the house. Hey, Riri. Damon Rose in the building. We got to make sure we catch you, get everybody here. Lisa Hudson Williams in the house. What's up, Wise Cat? All right, yeah. So
Lisa, with that little phony spin she did, tricked everybody at the world's largest. That little phony spin she did.
You hear that, Lisa? He called your spin fake. Dre
it's
and
funny,
company.
Dre on here too. Tell you a story about Dre.
He
back
another
in the day.
one. He another one playing around with the wheels of steel. But
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. I give Dre this title. That's the dancingest Negro I've ever seen in my life. And the reason why I say that is because people hear about the 3Gs stories, right? So 3Gs went from 3Gs to D Elegance and from D Elegance to DJ.
Right.
So back in the day, I was doing Saturday nights, and I was the resident DJ there for like about 7-8 years, somewhere in there on Saturday night. And I want to say it was Dre and Margaret had came and kicked it on Saturday because Cross was doing Sunday nights. That was strictly Step. I was doing Saturday nights, and for all the steppers watching tonight, the extent of me playing stepping music on a Saturday night was R. Kelly, Step in the Name of Love, with Pack the Floor.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, I would start off for like 70 BPM, you know, smooth R&B and go up to like
keep
95.
Smooth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Put a bookmark right there just for a second. For my audience, see, I have to educate my people as we move along. Now, pay attention, you guys. He says 70 BPM. Need y'all to understand, BPM means beats per minute. So when y'all are on the floor dancing and that music is at a certain pace, understand that us DJs are looking at it a little differently than the rest of y'all, and it means that you are getting that many beats per minute, and we're able to guide the floor through those beats. Now, go ahead.
Just to piggyback on what you said, because a lot of times, I'm glad you interrupted me. I explain it to people like this. Your favorite song, whatever you snap your fingers to, if you count that, how many times you do that in a minute, that's the BPM.
There you go.
So, Dre, going back to Dre, Dre danced, and I want to say this was probably like about a 45-minute incline up to 95. And none of it stepped. Now, keep in mind, this is 15 years ago. Yeah, about 10, 15 years ago. There wasn't as many, I should say, crossover hits that we dance to now in the stepping community.
Right.
But Dre never got off the flow. Dance from 71. So when people bring up the subject about, you know, you can't dance to that, and I can remember Tony Dow mentioning this as well. If you're a dancer, and I'm not knocking nobody, let me be clear. If you're a dancer, you could find the beat and you could dance to it.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of, do you like that song or not?
Well, a lot of people too, though, have not necessarily embraced the dancing part of stepping. And so it's hard for them to pick those beats out. And just as an example, you have people who will dance from the hi-hat, people who dance off the bass, people who dance off the snare, and so on. Somewhere in there, that 70 beat per minute or whatever that beat per minute is the time is being kept by one of those instruments. And everybody finds their instrument, and that's what they dance off of.
You know what that reminds me of? This ugly dude, they call him the sheep or the sheep, the ram, goat, somebody. Takeeman. I watched what he be listening to, and that dude is something else. Yeah.
Well, you know, one of the things about the music, and this is why, you know, going back to our earlier discussion where we talked about how important it is to listen to conversations, to understand these little bitty gems help to put people's dance in this proper perspective. Sometimes these little light bulbs don't go off in people's heads until they hear discussions like this. Phoebe Stewart says, my first experience here in J Boogie, workshop at the Grand Ballroom during Majestic Gents White Party weekend with Tony Dow, Sean Bandy, Tick, and Salsa Tina. I was like, who is he? Was hooked on him then.
Tell I said gratitude.
Absolutely.
I just be trying to keep up, honestly.
Yeah, well,
just trying to
you know, but it's a beautiful thing though when you gain a following, because what you do so well that people remember. Because that's the thing about being a DJ in this game, man. People, they when you touch them, because this music touches people, it touches their soul. This music is the soundtrack of our life, and when you're able to touch people through this music, it absolutely makes a difference, because they want, look, man, music causes your endorphins, you dig, to flow through your body.
Yes.
When some DJ understands how to put that combination together to unlock them endorphins in your body, you want that feeling every chance you get. You're going to go where that DJ is at. Period.
It's addictive. It's addictive for me as well, because listening to you talk earlier, I can definitely relate, because like the vast majority of my career, it would make me cringe getting compliments and praise. You know what I mean? I always duck the spot.
Yeah.
I ain't never ran to it, because I'm the type of person, I can receive pleasure from giving pleasure.
Right.
Watching a woman dance, and you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Just, you know, hitting them back.
You a giver, brother. You a giver. I'm the same way.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Drew Thomas in the building. Drew Thomas said, what's
Drew,
up?
St. Louis.
Tuffy in the house. My man Carlton Davis. What's up, Tuffy? Man, call me, man. Quit playing. Rochelle Washington in the house. Let's see. We got Lawrence Delco.
Rochelle,
that's my man Cochise in the building. What's up, Cochise? Man, Cochise, I was just talking about you, brother. You missed it. Ha ha. Anyway, Jerry Dunham in the house. But yeah, man, that Miss Sunshine is in the building. What's up, Sunshine? Drew Thomas.
Mama Duck.
Yeah, look. What's up, Tika in the house? We got the Tea Lady is in the house. Mr. Sip Sip, y'all.
Tea Lady.
You got to give Tea Lady her props. Preferment in the building.
ATL, ho.
Look here, for y'all that have not seen the documentary from Preferment, when you get a chance, go on YouTube, type in PREFERMENT. Do not forget, check out that documentary. It's got some old clips of Tick Man, Ty Skippy, and a bunch of other really good stuff from contests in the past. Y'all need to check out that doc. It's great. Mary Alicia in the house. I ain't seen you in a minute, young lady. How you doing? Yeah, Lisa O'Daniel, what's going on? Bernice Newsom Short, there she is, coming in from Dallas, Texas, y'all. So now, moving forward, man, I'm just curious, because you know, I believe that DJs, and them other DJs finna get mad at me. It's a couple of them, probably a couple of my homies too. But I believe that DJs.
I can only imagine what you about to say.
No, I ain't gonna go too far off the rails. But I believe that DJs should be blessed into the game and not just jump up and call themselves a DJ. They should be blessed into the game by their peers. How did you get DJ J Boogie as a name?
A name that I, and a lot of time, I don't know if I ever said this publicly, but Jimmy Jam, like I say, goes back to that club I was at Mellow Dream. 3 G's was popping in. So we would leave Mellow Dreams, and he'd be like, "Man, I'm gonna take you down to 3Gs," and that's where I met a lot of people back in the day. And he introduced me as J Boogie. And like the next couple times when I would come down there to 3Gs, people was like, "Hey, J Boogie," and I'm looking around just oblivious, and then realize one day I'm like, "Wait, they
talking
about
to me.
me? Oh, my name is J Boogie now." Okay, just took it and ran with it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I definitely wouldn't have came up with this name. But, hey, it's stuck, and
so now
hey, I just ran.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna place you in what Sunshine referred to as the class of 2005. Is that safe to say?
That's very accurate.
Okay. So now with that said, from your time coming into the stepping game, not just putting music together, but coming into the stepping game, from your time in your beginnings of that part of your DJ journey to now, what are your thoughts on the way the music has developed? Because I don't want to use the word evolved, because there's no such thing. Because even the music that we play, see this. I want to put this bookmark right here before you answer that question, because I want people to understand something. There's been this false division in the community over the music. You got people who think for some reason that the old music ain't worthy, and then you got a lot of people who don't want to hear the new music. Well, let me make something real clear for everybody, old and young, new and old, original to now. Be very clear about this. When we started stepping, when I was made aware of stepping in my early years, and I'm talking about I was probably 10 years old, maybe 11 years old when I took my first steps. Understand that we were playing, the music that was being played was the music of the time. It was the music of the era. Now, moving forward, there has never been a time in the history of stepping, never, where the music was not played during the time that it was. The music has been, our libraries have been added to year by year. Now, just because we don't select certain songs that people might like to play as part of our selection, our set, because as an example, my style of DJing, there's certain songs you will never hear me play. They are not in my rotation. Other DJs might play them. I'm not going to play them because they don't fit my style. However, I am well versed enough in this community and got enough roots in it to understand what the vibe is. So that means there are certain songs that I will play that fit each period. We can go from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s and so on. Music is constantly being made. Now, right now, you got people like Carmichael Music Lover who's making music, and we playing the hell out of it. Okay? We got I can't think of the man's name off the top of my head. Mulholland Drive. Those songs. October London. We got all of this stuff that's constantly being added to our music library. So don't think for 1 second that only old music is being played. And to finish that thought, understand this. If you at a set and the DJ is not playing music that fits the party, the set, the crowd, if he's not playing for his crowd, it ain't the music's fault. It's the DJ's fault. Now, I didn't mean to go on that long ass rant, but from there, my brother, what are your thoughts from then to now?
What you said is relevant. It's ironic because I was having this conversation not too long ago, 3G's days, because that's when I was first starting. And like the Ticks, the Dre's, Mo, T. Pratt and them, there were a lot younger than me.
Right.
So I noticed, because like when I go digging in my crates or whatever, and I'm like, man, this is something we used to play back at 3Gs. The majority of those songs, we was talking about BPMs earlier, 93 and above, all the way up to 100. And the significance of that, why I bring that up, is because now, at least, from what I've seen, crowd thinning out once you start getting up 93, 94, 95.
Cats
now, you
is
can still
getting
get
old.
you can still get down,
Yeah.
but you done lost the majority.
Uh-huh.
From what I've seen. Now, everybody's different, but from what I've seen, the crowd and the floor is thinning out once you get up to that speed.
I agree. You're starting to wear people out now.
Yeah. And I can vividly remember, you know what I'm saying, Raphael at 3Gs back in the day, like back to back to back to back to back to 95, 96, 97.
Lisa Sanders in the house. Chi-Town 1976. What's going on? Kevin G. Durham in the building. Terrell Tyson. What's happening? Netta DM out of Cali in the building. Anthony Irvin, I see you. And they all speaking to you, by the way. Your people is giving you shout outs all up and down the page, bro. They loving you.
I love them back.
Now,
those that know, I love them back.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm about to spill some more DJT. So for my audience, for those of you who are not aware, like I just explained a few minutes ago about the beats per minute, as DJs, it's our job to make sure that we keep you guys on the floor. It's our job to make sure that, for one, we're not, especially now, because the female populace of the DJ game has become increased so much until if we play 90 and above for too long, all the men gonna go sit down. Y'all gonna be sitting down because they ass is gonna be wore out. I'm just saying. So right now, what I know you were playing at Heroes every week. Now, and I'm gonna ask you this. It's your choice. Of course, it's always your choice to answer. In recent weeks, we've seen a little bit of controversy in regard to the demise of the Sunday night event at Heroes, which had become quite the staple in Chicago. Is there anything or any information that you'd like to provide that is relevant to you as a DJ and your journey that you want to share? You're welcome to do so or not.
I think people were more shocked, if you will, when I reference being fired. But that happens so often.
The facts are the facts, bro.
Yeah. It's so ironic because the week before I made that post, I was having a conversation with a brother named Dason. And I was like, man, when the fire happened, some months back, I had stopped the music. And I was like, man, we're going to look back at Heroes and be like, man, we used to really kick it on Sundays, right? And I was just telling the story, not knowing he was actually there, because he was like, man, I remember you saying that and stopping the music, because I've been in that position so many times where you be having a good time and it never crosses your mind like, this could end one day.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So I say that to say this, like I look back at 3Gs and a lot of the newer steppers don't understand, like Sunday nights at 3Gs, the reason why y'all keep hearing it is because it was just a different time. It was a different atmosphere. Now keep in mind, I was just filling in. I wasn't spinning at 3Gs. I was just filling in when Raphael would have another gig somewhere. So I say that to say this. The shift started at 9 o'clock. 3Gs then closed at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And when I say it closed at 5 o'clock in the morning, they were in there till 5 o'clock.
You mean you had to stop the music and make folks go home?
Different time.
Well, it's funny you say that about 3Gs too, because I'm gonna tell you a little story. And during the time when 3Gs was when it was really in his heyday, my wife and I had moved out of Chicago. We were already gone. And I'll never forget one time we came home and we were going to go stepping. So we was going to go to 3Gs. And to attest to what you just said about it being a completely different vibe, even we felt it. We came in there like, this ain't our crowd. Like, these ain't the folks we've been stepping with all our life. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely a different vibe, but it was a sort of a changing of the guard too, which Wasn't
True.
a bad thing. Amanda Russell, how you doing? Anthony Irvin in the building. Dennis Moore out of Cali. I see you. Norma Wilson, how you doing, baby? Jara Smith in the house. Let's see. We got
Yeah,
DJ Tim Jones in the building. Terrell Tyson, that's what's happening. Now, Tim Jones asked a question. He said, and I know he's being, Tim liked it. Tim, let me tell you something. That dude right there missed his calling. He ain't nothing but a daggone comedian. DJ Tim Jones wants to know, do DJs look for music and how often? Well, I could tell you that I do, and that's almost every day. But go ahead. What about you?
I mean, for me, it goes without saying.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Black Cool was having this conversation, as far as up and coming DJs, you got to put in the work. There's a lot of DJs that come in. I've had people ask me, like for an example, I got a hard drive,
Mm-hmm.
and how much you would charge me to fill up my hard drive,
Bro.
and I'm trying not to cuss right now.
Yeah, I already know that's like,
so
that's blasphemy right there.
The reason why I say that, again, I used to collect music,
Yeah.
so I got a lot of the original CDs that I've downloaded to my hard drive.
Right.
So I got thousands
Mm-hmm.
of CDs. And if you just take it for an average $12 a CD, back then it was like $15 a CD.
Right.
And a lot of times people be complaining about, cats putting music on flash drive. Man, how many songs I get. Well, you go to iTunes and pay $1 a song.
You already know.
But going back to me filling up somebody's hard drive, I just probably don't never see that, happening, because I can't even begin to give you a price. How do you value your library? See, a lot of times,
I can't even imagine it, brother. I can't even fathom that thought right now. Like that, what you just said. I've never had anybody approach me like that. Vale said he heard that one before. Samela says she don't look for music like she used to. Let me tell you something. My library, to me, let me tell you how valuable my library is to me, bro. It's triple. Matter of fact, I think it's quadruple backed up. And every time every time I add new music, I literally back up all 4 of them drives, and I got one put away. If anything should happen, I got another one that's put away. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, and I always was the type of person to back my stuff up, because I remember years ago, remember Napster and all of that?
Yep.
Listen, bruh, I had a hell of a library back then, and I messed around, and one night we had a storm or something in the house, and my doggone my whole computer. I went downstairs because I guess we had a power surge come back through the house, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
My whole computer was sitting there smoking, literally. Everything on that hard drive gone. Everything gone. I was like, oh my God. Ever since that day, now we talking about way back in the 90s. Ever since that day, I said that'll never happen to me again. Now,
that is not a good feeling.
I'm gonna tell you a funny little story, and he probably gonna call me after this show. DJ Paradise, I'll never forget. Me and another DJ here in San Antonio was sitting around one evening, and it was I think it was like a Friday night. Paradise called. He said, hey man, I think my hard drive just crashed. And I was like, you ain't got no backup? No, man, I ain't got no backup. Look, Anthony Irvin said LimeWire. Yep, that one too. Look, he said
LimeWire and Care Bear.
Yeah, all of them. I said, you ain't got no back. He was like, no, man, I got a set to do in an hour. I was like, ooh, that's ugly. So he called around and he was able to get some music to do his set. But the next time I saw Paradise, I'm talking about you, sir. Don't give him no drinks. He'd get naked and get on the chair and DJ. Look, I done seen it with my own eyes. Anyway, the next time I saw him, he had a series of jump drives. And I was like, man, how you working off of all of that, man? Why don't you buy one drive, get you a couple of drives back? But, we all got our methods. We got our methods to our madness. But I bet you he won't have that problem no more with all them damn drives in there. But
yeah, it only take one time.
The value of a DJ's hard drive is damn near invaluable. It's damn near, matter of fact, ain't no damn near. It is irreplaceable.
It is.
Even
It is.
you know, and I've had plenty of DJs that would literally, you know, bless me with music. I mean, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you how slick. What this is what I do, because all of my drives are a minimum a terabyte. But every DJ that's ever blessed me with music, and there's quite a few, they have a folder on my drive. If you literally came to a set that I was playing, you could go to your folder that you blessed me with music from and actually play songs that you are familiar with in your own section. I just do that. I take what I want out of there and I add it to my roster, but I leave that folder intact. I download all that and I let it roll like that. But man, you know, it's crazy because no matter, and then here's another thing I learned too. I don't care who the DJ is, they got something in they thing that you ain't got. I don't care who it is. They got something you ain't got.
Yeah. It's funny, me and Black Cool was having this conversation because that Creep has some remixes that I did back in the day that I don't have anymore because my external hard drive crashed. And he got some remixes that I don't even have no more. But the lesson learned, you know, to back up your, like you said, you got 4, I probably got 3. That'll never happen again to me.
Yep.
The only thing that saved me at that particular time was I still had my original CDs, so it was just the fact of
the work that you had to put in. Yeah. Netta DM, let me hold on. Let me address this here. Netta over there in Cali, she gonna say, don't do nothing around Brian. He like my daddy. He can't hold water. Netta, let me tell you something. This was a party with a whole bunch of people. So don't put that on me. He did that in front of everybody. Paradise stood up on the chair and pulled his shirt off like he was King Kong. And he was tearing it up too, boy. Don't play no games. He was killing the set now. He was doing his thing. It just was funny as hell, and I'll never forget it. Hey, look, let me tell you something. When that music is good and we going, why you think y'all hear Myron screaming like he do? Myron be feeling that music, man. He don't care what y'all think. That man be in a zone. You dig? That's how that go. So what you got going on now, man? What you doing now? Let's say I ain't never been to Chicago and I want to come here. DJ J Boogie do his thing. Where can the people find you, brother?
Right now I'm working with Snoop and working with Cross.
Hold on. Vale said, and with that cup in his hand. I wasn't even gonna add that part, DJ Vale. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Vale know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
This Sunday, Snoop, we at Ophelia's from 3 to 7 doing the day party. I'm gonna be spending this. It's my turn to do this Sunday, so that's why I be at. And then I close it out for the new Sundays at our lounge in Country Club Hills.
That's what's up. Yeah, so I've heard that y'all are having a lot of success, man, with these new sets on Sunday.
Yeah, it's getting there. You know what I'm saying? The people coming out, like you always say, and a lot of people may not look at it that way, but I've always looked at it that way because, you know what I'm saying? I've been in spots where you just playing for the lights and the chairs. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do it without the people.
Without the people, baby, you got nothing. You got nothing.
Yeah, man, because I feed off that energy.
Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Look, I still play a set. I don't care if it's 3 people in the room. I still play it like it's 150, 300 people in the room. But fact is, that people energy, man, that's like food, man. It's like, you know, putting the jumper cables on a cat. You know what I mean?
And it's funny because I tell Lucky that all the time. Lucky be charging me up. Sometimes she don't come in the heroes, and a lot of times people don't realize when you a resident DJ and you do this weekly, sometimes, you know, you got life stuff happening outside of the club. You know, you don't necessarily feel like doing it all the time.
Life be lifing, baby. For real, for
real.
Yeah,
and Lucky is one that seems to change my mood with her crazy self.
Yep. Well, look at it this way, too. It's a whole lot of cats want your spot, so handle your business. DJ
Yeah,
Samela in
you
the
got to
house.
put in
What's
the work.
happening, baby? She say Ambassador Kevin Neville's, Myron Robinson, Larry Cross keep her going with the music, and she love her brothers. That's what's up. Samela, listen, Samela is one of my favorite female DJs. She get down for hers. I love how she roll. Netta DM, she said the Heritage Ball, yes ma'am, the Heritage Ball will not happen for 2025. You got to wait for 2026. They will return. Kevin Neville said he ain't got no music, and can he get a song or two from me or you? Ain't nobody thinking about you, Ambassador, because you tripping right now. Terrell Tyson.
Yeah, you
huh? Go ahead.
Hey, tell Kevin you op. He's an op. He gets nothing.
You just got labeled an op, sir. I'm just letting you know, Mr. Nevels. Terrell Tyson said DJs back then used to carry crates of records and amps, speakers, and Tech 1200 flight case, charge less for a party compared to now when they only carry a laptop and a flash drive and charge more. Hey man, inflation.
Can I answer that? Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
Can I answer
Go
that
ahead.
one?
Come on.
Tell Terrell I said shut the hell up.
There it is.
Shut the hell
he
up.
can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You shut all the way up.
Eric Washington said, you must keep a backup as a DJ. My computer blacked out on me. Now I keep 4 SSD hard drives. You know what, Eric Washington, you are absolutely correct. I had that happen to me. I came to play the 50 Labor Day weekend. I was there on Saturday, and I was in the booth with Calvin. And before I got started, and for whatever reason, the amp went out on us twice in there that night. But before I got started, I plugged in my laptop, and every time I pulled my program up to play, that damn thing kept crashing. I'm like, what the hell going on? This ain't never happened before. But guess what? That backup was in the bag. Pulled the back. I got 2 identicals. You dig? See, this is, a lot of people don't really, and I'm glad that they're bringing this up, because I really don't think a lot of people truly understand how prepared we actually have to be. And they don't understand the work that goes in behind the scenes, the stuff y'all don't see us doing. When we up them late nights sitting in the bed with our laptop, going through that music, organizing folders and making sure we got our ducks in a row. So when it's time to get down for y'all, ain't no slip ups. Real talk. You know, I spend plenty hours fooling with that stuff. Backups are critical.
Preparation is a huge part. You see what I'm saying? It's the part of the iceberg that you don't see.
3 P's. Preparation prevents poor performance. Or what is that? Is that 4 P's?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, you gotta have it. It's a thing, man, where, a lot of, and then the other thing is, and this is not to knock nobody that's trying to get in the game, because I always encourage people to do their part. People, everybody wants to reinvent the wheel or build a better mousetrap, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of people want to, jump into stuff. But they sometimes don't really, and this is how you can tell who the people who genuinely love something is. And I'll just use this show as an example. Consistency. Are you willing to be prepared? Y'all heard what DJ Boogie just said a minute ago. Life be lifing, and it's days where we ain't feeling it. So the question becomes, do you want to get up and do this today? It ain't about whether you want to get up and do this. Them people is waiting on you, period. It's days I don't want to cut this computer on a Tuesday. But guess what? I know y'all out there waiting on me, and I'm not about to let y'all down. That you can count on that. So guess what? If it's a Tuesday and I'm going down the highway on my way to Chicago for 18 hours, you're going to see my sign come on, and I'll be doing it. I've done it before. If you go back and you check my history, you'll see I've done my show on the road before, and I will continue to do that. 7 o'clock on a Tuesday, Inside Steppin is on the air, period. Somebody call me and tell me they want me to play their set. Whatever time they tell me there, I'm set up an hour early and ready to rock when y'all hit the door. Simple as that. That's the DJ's job. We there when y'all get there. We there when y'all leave.
Something that changed my perspective, the pandemic. I really didn't have like cabin fever to like maybe 3-4 months into it, but because I just had so much stuff I could get to and accomplish, etc. But one thing I had underestimated is the power of music and the therapeutic
Man.
thing that people get from music, because I had so many people ask me to go live, and that was never. I wasn't even remotely interested in going live. One, there was a multitude of DJs already, going live.
Yeah, Brick was doing that. Tony Anthony, he was doing his thing. He had the late night get down, shut down, started around 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and we'll go to 6 or 7 in the morning every night.
Yeah, so I just was uninterested in going live, but and I wish I can remember who this was, but that sparked this idea that changed my perspective of it. And I underestimated the therapeutic value of the music for people because they were so used to coming to Heroes on a Sunday, and it was just a crazy time and for the pandemic. So that was the only reason that I went live. But I say that story to say this, that changed my perspective because I've seen it in the club all the time, the effect that music has on people. Because I say this all the time, everybody can hear music, but not everybody listens to music. It's a girl that used to come into Heroes, and like with me having a hip hop background, I know the difference between dancing for attention and just dancing because the music is moving.
Dancing like nobody looking.
Valencia is one of them. She, in my opinion, she dances because it just moves her soul. And I've seen so many females in the club over the years that I've been doing this, that it just moves their soul. You see what I'm saying? So there's a difference.
Yeah, I have to absolutely 100% agree with that. Netta DM, my girl out in Cali, she just said it's very therapeutic. Music literally saved her life. Said when she was younger, she wanted to commit suicide. It was the music through God that saved her, for real, for real. And that's, that's a testimony that, that applies, that whole feeling and ideology really applies to the Steppin community in general. Here lately, I say it jokingly, but I'm kind of serious. We got a lot of damaged, dysfunctional people in the Steppin community. This dance and this music is absolute therapy for some of these people, man, to the point where, I know why they do what they do. I know why they come to the set. I know why they, come and get they row out and get away from that reality. It's like a way to get high without the effects. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yes and yes. I'm trying to, because I don't want to be mean. But I will say this: it has been shocking, especially like back in the 3G's day. You know what I'm saying? I'm so grateful, just beyond grateful for being mentored and with wisdom and previous people's experiences. Raphael and Sunshine has given me the ability to navigate and move a certain way, just because of listening to their stories and you know what I'm saying, just guidance overall. So I say that to say this: some of them 3G stories I used to hear back in the day, I could not believe it. But yes, you are correct, 1,000%. Yeah. I'll just say, well, I don't want to tell this.
Hey man, listen, I overstand.
Yeah, it's therapeutic for people. So, it changed my perspective. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm not as, I don't want to say judgmental, but I understand people's what they receive from the music, because I see it all the time.
Right.
In the booth.
And because of that right there, and I started this show out talking about how we must all hold one another accountable. And I'm fortunate that I have a group of men around me. And I had to caveat that with the no homo thing, but I have some men in my life.
No, you don't.
Look, no. I did it. I did it jokingly, but no, you're right. But I'm saying this to say that I'm fortunate that I've got some straight up men in my life that hold me accountable, and I hold them accountable, and we hold each other accountable to the point where if one of us is slipping, You know what I'm saying? We gonna catch it from them before anybody else in the world know about it. I'm gonna get to hear about where I messed up or I shouldn't have did this or whatever the case may be. But they're not gonna let me go out here and tear my ass doing something stupid.
And that's love. That's just love.
Oh,
that's a real friend.
My man,
that's
Lonnie
a real
Hayden
friend
in the building. What's happening, Lonnie, over there in the ATL? He said he got a comment. His external crashed this weekend. Yeah, Lonnie, you got to have them backups, baby. You got to keep a backup in the bag. Don't play no games. And matter of fact, Lonnie, word of advice, get rid of them doggone hard drives. Get you a SSD. Keep them jokers where you just plug them in. They ain't got no moving parts inside of them. Less headache.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Yep.
Yeah, but going back to what you were saying, because I was thinking about this recently that, you know, just from a personal perspective, I'm so grateful. And I wanted to make a post that I got some good people and wise people that I don't necessarily talk to every day.
Right.
But I could pick up the phone and, you know, we have conversations just like we just left off, you know what I'm saying, yesterday. And we ain't talked to each other in months, years, et cetera, et cetera.
Them the real ones.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Them
without
the real
a doubt.
ones. Yeah.
I'm so grateful for them because your friends will tell you when you're wrong.
That's right. They're going to tell you when you...
There was nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
I've experienced that where I've seen people's close friends, you know what I'm saying, people that they rock with. And I sit there and watch them. I'm like, you're not doing nothing but hurting that person by not telling them, you know, you ain't got to be wrong, but at the same time,
they call that an enabler. They call them enablers.
Look, yeah, enablers.
Yeah. Black
Cool had made a post a while back, man, that was so spot on. He said, man, stop co-signing sucker shit.
Nah, I like that.
And that's real.
That's facts.
You know that was wrong. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If anybody, you should be able to tell your friend, yeah, don't do that. Because you make yourself look bad. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you need that in life because you're not always going to be right.
That part. But, you know, you got, you know, it ain't a whole lot of Tim Jones is stupid, man. He talking about why I can't find a Vice Lord emoji. Ain't nobody playing with you, Tim. But no, you know, it's very important. And I mean, even us as DJs, I'm also happy that having joined this DJ family, DJ Black Cool is in the building. I'm excited that so many in this community do hold one another accountable and that we do have a level of camaraderie. And I don't like to see the beef, you know, between DJs. I've witnessed a couple of incidents, you know, and things that didn't have to go the way that they did. But the bottom line is, and here's something I want all my DJ family, my turntable family, I want y'all to understand one thing. If you are in demand, Mike Flex, what's happening, family? If you're in demand,
Flex the truth.
The people are going to ask for
truth.
You. The people are going to request you. The people are going to be who that promoter hires because they want you there because you are a draw. You become a draw by doing your job in the way that the people want you to do it. It ain't about you. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. And this is for my audience and everybody else. I have watched some DJs come into a set and they understand the assignment. They know who they playing for. But I've seen other DJs come into a set and get in their own world. They be in their own zone, playing for themselves. And then they wonder why don't nobody call them back. Look here. Everything is about, number one, relationships, the unfortunate politics that we deal with, but most of all, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. It's the people. Without the people, we have nothing. People are not going to show up if the DJ sucks. Let's just keep it a buck. You don't have to ask nobody if you any good. The people going to let you know. Now tell me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And furthermore, upcoming DJs, because I've heard, actually witnessed with my own eyes, mm-hmm. Like you say, the politicking. And well, you know what? I'll just talk from a personal perspective.
There you go.
It's been so many times early in my career, I've been out, you know, at a party or whatever. And this particular DJ was so good. It was just motivating for me. Well, I just want to go back home and work.
Man, now.
Go home and work. Because I've always said that when you get good enough, you won't have to, number one, undercut another DJ asking a promoter how much you paying them. That burns me up.
You don't even have to ask a promoter to let you spin. They gonna call
I was
you.
Getting there. I was getting there.
Okay, come on.
How much you paying? I've heard this story before. How much you paying such and such? Well, I'll do it for such and such.
Yeah,
the only problem with that
that's
is
crazy.
now you done lowered the price. Guess what the next up and coming DJ gonna do?
Yep.
He gonna undercut your price.
Yep. You killing the
So
game.
I say that to say this. Yes, I say that to say this. I've always held myself to a certain standard that I just told myself I got to get better. Because when you get better, they'll come find you. You don't have to solicit your service.
There you
they
go.
will come find you.
You show right.
So I ain't never took it personally that, such got a gig, and I ain't never had a problem with that. I just put it on myself. I got to get better.
Tim Jones, it's been requested that you relinquish your phone because nobody you tripping right now. He over here talking about pitchfork. Maurice Thomas in the building. What's up, Reese? That's my dog right there.
Who, Reese from Detroit?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
that's my people right there. But now, I'm you kind of weak. I'm about to go down another rabbit hole with you now.
Come on with it.
When we talk about DJs doing all of these different things, and it's funny you mentioned that part about working harder. There are a lot of popular DJs that I'm not necessarily a fan of because since I started DJing, of course, my perspective has changed. I don't see things the way that I once did. When I came into this game kind of by accident. I never intended to be a DJ. I'm like you. That was not in my wheelhouse. It was something that became a necessity because of what I was doing at the time. But I kind of...
Let me interrupt you for a second, B. Let me interrupt you just for a quick second.
Come on.
Let me ask you, in your opinion, what is a DJ? Like, if you had to sum it up, like you need 3 or 4 qualities to be labeled a DJ. Or requirements.
What are the requirements? Number 1, be professional. Number 2, respect the game. Number 3, understand who you're playing for and what your purpose is in what you're doing. Lastly, I would say probably don't take yourself too seriously and be a student throughout your journey. Don't always be, thinking you got it all figured out all the time. Now we get down for ours, but we can always learn more. That would be my right off the dome. That would be the things that I'm, interested in. And like DJ Samela said, of course, you play for the crowd. That's right. I mean, that's just the bottom line. If you ain't there for the people, you ain't got no business being there.
Yeah, because there's been so many times I've been at a different setting. Like one of my people will come in and be like, "Oh yeah, we about to." I'm like, "No, did you look at that crowd? I tell, ain't gonna be none of that tonight."
Right.
You got to play for your crowd. But
now,
in your opinion,
go ahead.
What are the requirements to be a DJ though? To call yourself a DJ?
Okay. Well, first, before I can answer that, I have to say this. Steppin' DJs are a very special breed. You can be a great DJ. You could play all the house music. You could play all the hip hop. You could play all these different genres of music. But what you can't do is come off of any of those and walk into a stepper set and play that party. You can't do it. And if you did, I'd pay you my damn self because it would be unbelievable. And it's just not possible. You have to have knowledge of this culture. You have to have knowledge of this history. You have to have knowledge of the music and know what that means when you play certain songs. Matter of fact, I was having a conversation. We were at Texas Heat a few weeks ago in Houston, and I was spending an after party, and I was sitting there talking to this young lady. I don't remember where she was from, but she literally, we got to talking about DJing, and she didn't, so when I started explaining some things to her about DJing, she was like, "Wow, I never knew that. I never knew all of that stuff was involved." I said, yeah. I said, but the thing that is so important is that we have to be paying attention to y'all. We have to have our finger on y'all's pulse the whole time. If we're not paying attention to what it is that you want and what you love and what you want to hear. Now, here's what happens. I was at a set, I ain't gonna say no names, and the DJ played what I'm going to refer to as a DJ as a safe set. Now, what is a safe set? A safe set is a DJ who can come in from anywhere, not anywhere, in the DJ genre, and hit all the popular music that people want to hear. Problem with that is when you get into a set, and it's not a problem because if you're the only DJ playing, you can do that. You can kind of get away with it. Tommy Smith in the building, one of them Texas boys. You can get away with it. Hey, Patrice Robbins, I see you. You if you playing by yourself, number one, your pockets better be deep. Because if you playing a 4-hour, 5-hour set alone, you better have a library and you better know what to play and when to play it. Now, if you playing with another DJ and you got a 2-hour portion or a 1-hour portion, now the question becomes, at what part of the set are you playing? And if whatever part of the set you playing, you don't know what to play for people, so that now you playing stuff that really could wait until a little later on in the set when the crowd show up. Now, I'm not saying, cause see me, my philosophy is, I don't care what the DJ I'm playing with play. You can play every so-called hit there you think there is, but here's what people don't understand. You only got a certain amount of time. Within that time frame, you're only gonna play a certain amount of songs. I don't care what songs you play within that hour to 2 hours. I promise you, I got at least another 8 hours of music to keep I tear the roof off that joker. You can play all the hottest shit you want right now, but I promise you, when I get up there, you better be done did your job. And the reason I feel that way is because when I came into the game, I felt like in order for me to get noticed, I gotta bang it. And I deliberately won't play stuff that other people will play that I know they're gonna play. I deliberately will play stuff and I pull rabbits out. And people, oh damn. When I got other DJs coming to me talking, man, I need that track, dog. I'm doing my job. He asked earlier, Tim Jones said, how often do we look for music? I look for music all the time. I'm always figuring out new ways to be innovative. And I also understand that there are songs that people forget about. And I know that I could jump in there and play something and people will be like, oh, damn. But it's about understanding who you playing for again and knowing how to do what you do. Another DJ from another genre can now walk in and do that. I don't care. You can't do it. So
I agree with you. I agree with you because stepping music overall, like a lot of the classics or just the popular songs, not on the radio.
Right.
I mean, we do have some radio hits, but the majority of stepping music is not on the radio.
And that's facts. Yeah. But see now now let's go back into the history. Here's what people don't know about to point out what you just said. A lot of step music is not on the radio. It's just like back in the day. See, there was people stepping in the record shops when you still went in there and picked up your wax off the shelf, out the box and all of that. Stepping music traditionally was B-sides. Like you went and bought a record. Think about it. How many times you went and bought it for the people that are older and remember this? When you went to the store and bought a record, you bought it because it had that song on the front that you wanted to hear. And you probably had never flipped that sucker over. But the B-sides is what the steppers came to get. It was them songs nobody else listened to. Sam Chapman made a whole lot of music famous that you would have never heard if he hadn't have played it first back in the day. Mm. It's a whole lot. The B-sides, that's what we stepped off of. So now here we are, because the way the music is sold now with streaming and everything, the game done changed a lot. So now that it is the way that it is, you know, I'm always listening to different songs for them backbeats. I'm always listening for, you know, damn, this got that vibe, you know, and I might throw some of that in there somewhere. You know, it's about being creative. The reason certain DJs get more airplay than others is because of what they hear and what they know is part of this game. I was standing next to Myron at Texas Heat, and like what you said earlier, after he got done, I was like, let me go home, let me go do some work. Because it was some things that he did that night. Now, I've heard Myron play a million times, but it was some things he did that night that stood out in my ear. Maybe I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but I did. So when you see stuff like that and you ask yourself, well, why do everybody always call him? Why is he the number one called DJ on the set? There's a reason for that. He didn't just wake up one day and everybody was like, let me call him. That's not how that was. You know?
Yeah, you definitely gotta have an ear for it. You definitely gotta have an ear for it. And you had mentioned something earlier in the conversation. Because I see a lot of copy and pasting. Matter of fact, it's so ironic because I know somebody that had posted this, and it's so ironic that I'm talking to that person. You made a post that resonated with me months back. It's nothing wrong with you going up to a person and saying, you inspire me.
That's right.
Remember you made that post? Yep. And that resonated with me because I see it so many times where people will copy and paste and got their chest poked out like, you know, they came up with that.
Right.
No, you did. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I got this one particular blend that I do all the time, and it's Shantae Moore.
Yep.
The Quiet Storm version of Now That Love's Taking Over.
Yep.
I was in 3Gs when this Negro did this blend. His name is Raphael. And, you know, it's another level when you receive a compliment from your peers versus, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I say that to say this. I'm in the booth standing next to this man, and I'm looking, you know, at the dance floor. And I want to say he blended that and Aaron Akins, What the World Needs Now. And there's some hi-hats in there. And he looped it. First of all, he was on CD. Okay. So the significance of that is you had to manually put the loop in.
Yeah.
And you had to be so precise hitting them buttons so the loop was not detectable.
Right.
He had looped them hi-hats in there. And I want to say I was maybe halfway through the first verse, going into the chorus, before I realized that he had blended another song in.
See that?
And for me personally, at that moment, I had been doing it for a couple of years up until that point. But for that moment, for me, set the bar. I always felt like if I'm not that good, I feel like, you know, hey.
But see, but the beauty,
I gotta get my game up.
The beauty in that is that, like somebody posted on here a little while ago, iron sharpens iron. And when you standing up next to an accomplished DJ and you watching this cat, because I'm gonna tell you, I done picked up a whole lot from a lot of people. And by the way, let me give a shout out to my man Stretch Alex, and hoping he's, you know, working on getting better. But let me tell you something, that dude taught me a lot of stuff, you know, just in conversation. Just forget actually sitting there on the doggone turntables. Dude actually just told me a lot of stuff that made so much sense and made this journey a little bit easier for me. He was one of those people that had his hands on me during that time because he knew what I was trying to do. And again, I never intended to be, you know, come out here and have people literally calling saying, hey man, we need you to play out here. Okay, bet, I'm on my way. You know, but Nikki Wheeler said DJ Boogie brings the party. But the thing is, what's up, Jesse Roy? I'm glad to see you, brother. Here we are where I'm now, I'm always a work in progress and I'm learning. And then I also kind of got caught with this other thing. My man, DJ Smooth Greenwood, he made a comment to me the other day.
Shout out Greenwood, Houston, baby.
Yes, sir. Look, he made a comment to me the other day.
Look,
he just got a brand new board. He got that brand new Pioneer that just came out. The Flex 10? No, he got the Flex. No, he got not the Flex 10. My man DJ Mr. Mello just bought the Flex 10. He brought that. There is a HZ or something. I can't think of the name. Anyway, it's brand new. It just came out. So we was laughing because he messed around, you know what I'm saying? He bought it, you know, and his wife is like my wife. She be on my butt, you know, because I will sneak a new controller up in here, you did. So he got his new controller, but he made a comment to me the other day. He said, man, don't you know DJs are some of the biggest hoarders in the world? And he ain't lying. Right here, if you look at my screen right now, you're literally looking at, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 controllers right in front of you. Not to mention there's another one sitting right here that you can't see. That ain't even all of them. Those are just the ones I play around with every day. I got 3 more in bags. Look, there go Josiah Bird talking about I'm snitching. Don't start. See, Ike Carter was in the house this weekend. He say, look, he was flexing that new board. Yes, he was. There's a fly-ass board, too. By the way, Ike, great job this weekend, too. But it's like, I got bit by this bug, man, and I'm always looking for the perfect board. And it's like, you get so caught up in this and you want to make everything that you do better. You want to be, you want to be you want to be considered one of the good ones. You know what I mean? Like, you know your job and you able to put it down and and do your thing. So, I don't know, man. It's been a strange journey. Sometimes I wonder where it's headed for me, because this ain't what I started out trying to do. I'm about my podcast, man, but I ain't gonna lie, bro. That DJ bug got me bit real bad. So I ain't gonna lie, man. Then, and we get into now, ladies and gentlemen, I know Boogie and I have had this discussion about DJing, but next week, you guys, we're gonna do a part 2 with Miss Sunshine Haywood, and J Boogie, and Raphael, and a few other folks. We're going to talk about that class in 2005 a little bit more. We're going to talk some more about this part of the history. And the reason I want to make these points about this portion of the history of Steppin is because we need to get rid of these gaps and we need to get rid of these divisions. And this is going to help us all move forward in the dance and into the future. Now, I'm saying that to say also, we are going to have, when I get to Chicago in the 1st of November, election day, we will be having the Tuesday show, but we will also be having on that Tuesday show a DJ roundtable, a DJ forum, where we are going to sit down and have the discussions and talk about some of the details and some of the things that he and I haven't discussed this evening. And I, wait a minute. Look, and then see, here go the producer lady. She got to chime in and talk about, no, every DJ is not a hoarder. Leave me alone, lady. Look, she gonna put that. Don't start. See, she finna start up. Look, don't start now. See, this is what I gotta put up with when I want a new toy. You dig? But the amazing thing about DJs is how we all do what we do, and everybody got their own way of doing it. We got our, like the musicians call it, we got our own axes. Some people like DJ Fly Diva, shout out to her. She likes to play on that tractor, which I love, by the way. I love tractors, but I didn't want to learn I didn't want to change the format of how I learned how to use a board. So that's why I got rid of the one I bought. But I'm a pioneer kind of guy. And then you got the people who do new marks. And one of the things, going back to what Lonnie and a couple other people were talking about earlier with backup laptops and stuff, if you Myron, you don't need no backup laptop, because he just pop in them 2 drives and he go to work. Ain't no laptop. He goes straight to work off of that, which is that's his thing. Then you got, shout out to my man E.T. Taylor. E.T. show up with a laptop and that little bitty controller and can slay the average DJ, which I think is amazing with that little bitty thing. But it is what it is. Samela say she uses Denon. So does Smooth Greenwood. Smooth got a Denon too. That's his favorite board until he just bought this new one. So yeah, and this thing can get expensive. Let's not forget that part. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, Donna Harvey says simple message is everybody is individual. Absolutely. Uh-oh, there go Daryl. Man, look, he talking about you snitching. See that? Yes, Daryl, I'm telling on you. Man, I ain't telling on you. See, I was bragging on you. Man, don't do me like that. I was bragging on my boy. Another guy who literally had his hands on me, teaching me this game, man. Much shout out to you, Daryl Greenwood. Also, another one of those men in my circle that holds me accountable. So there you go. You know.
And that's a real one. When I was in Houston playing, I told him to his face, you know, I was so grateful. But he went out his way for me when he didn't have to. The board that was there, hopefully I'm telling this story right. My computer was not updated, so it wasn't reading the board.
Yeah.
That man went home and got me another board and brought it back. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that because he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that.
Hey, that's that good looking out right there, man. You know, it's funny,
man.
When we was at Texas Heat, Daryl had left because he had to go to work. He had played his set and he got on down. And then about an hour later, he called me. He was like, "Hey, man, ET need a controller. ET need a, he said controller." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Now I had my SX3 was in the main room. In the after set room, and he was like, and I was like, "Damn, I'm gonna have to go." And I said, but I had brought my Rain 1 with me. It was up in the room, so I went and got it and brought it down. And he was like, "No, I just need a mixer." So I went and pulled my mixer out of my other set and gave it to him to play. Look, man, if we can't look out for each other, you know, we got to be able to do that.
I mean, because at some point in your career, you're gonna need somebody.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Kevin G. Durham got a question for you. He said, "Hey, J Boogie, question for you. My name is DJ Special K from Milwaukee. I've met you on several occasions, and I have so much respect for your craft."
Hold on. Stop right there. All right. That Special K, you say from Milwaukee. That was at the Pines talking to Roy one time.
Okay, he'll answer that, I guess, in a minute here. He said he's a school principal by day, and he loved the DJ and loved music. He said, "What's your advice for him to get back in the game?"
I can only speak from experience. Find somebody that is whatever genre that you want to do. Find somebody that'll mentor you. Like, that's part of my story.
Say that part again, the mentor part.
Yeah, because, man, listen, like I say, it was Steve-O that taught me how to blend, but it was Raphael that polished me. And the significance of that is stuff he told me 20 years ago still resonate and still apply current. You see what I'm saying? And me coming in the game, I just was blessed to be around DJs that were at the top of their genre. Raphael, Calvin, Bulu, Ferris, Nathis. You see what I'm saying? And I was just able to soak up so much from those cats. I just look back in hindsight like, man, I'm truly blessed and lucky, because it's a difference between when you have somebody to mentor you versus you just going down the guitar center, picking up the controller and, you know, getting the hard drive. And you see what I'm saying? You got to know what to do with the music.
Man, that part right there. Because you literally could give people a whole list of music, and if they don't know what to do with it, it's just a list of music. Because if that was the case, people would be playing sets off jump drives at this stage of the game, but you can't do it. Not and have it, you know, go the way that it's supposed to. My man Tree in the building. What's happening, family? Good to see you. William Owens, what's up, baby? Good to see you, man. Thank you for coming through. The collaboration is real. I got all my collaboration brothers on the live, man. Thank you guys for showing up. Dan Fielder in the house. He said, back in the day, DJs always looked out for each other. That's right, and it needs to stay that way. Kevin Durham say he was at Snoop's party this weekend on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris got down. Mellow Chris is Mellow Chris, boy.
Yeah.
Period. Let me tell you a Mellow Chris story. When I first started DJing, Calvin, I don't know why me and Raphael, I was taking him somewhere. But anyway, Raphael had me bring him over DJ Calvin's house. And Calvin was showing Raphael how to do something. It was a Michael Jackson song. I'll never forget it. They said it was too loud at the end or whatever. So Calvin was showing Raphael how to trim the song volume wise or something.
Mm-hmm.
And between what I saw him doing with that software, because I seen something totally different. I seen a capability totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what started me remixing and edits, et cetera, et cetera. That in combination with somebody had gave me a CD and I didn't even know what or who a Mellow Chris was.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard some of his remixes and I was like, I didn't know that, people, was stepping to like remixes of hip hop, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my inspiration. I just, because I was younger than all them cats at the time,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I just took it in a different direction.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And for the record, a lot of people seem to think that the whole hip hop remixes in Steppin started sometime in the 2000s. I'm here to tell y'all it started in the 80s. I know this to be a fact. I was there. Also, while we're on that part right there, because I guess I was trying to keep this show at an hour, but when you're having good conversations, brother, you can't deprive the people. You got to keep it moving.
It is what it is.
What are your thoughts on? And DJ Flex asked this question a little earlier. What are your thoughts on remixes?
Flex the truth. What? Oh,
Yes,
Flex is another one that inspired me. Because I can remember Sunshine and I can't remember who it was. They was arguing on the mic and we was at 3G's and Flex had dropped that because he had two hot ass remixes. One was Seasons by the Tramps. He had remixed that, and the other one was a Curtis Mayfield. And it was so like divisive. People either loved it or hated it. And Flex had did it. But when I heard it, I'm like, man, that is so hot. You know what I'm saying? It was inspirational. But I'll say this because me and Cool was having this conversation. And we probably two of the cats that, have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
We just like remixes. You see what I'm saying? But I will say this: as with anything in life, it should be done in moderation.
Man, there you go.
And number two, you have to know your crowd.
Man, there you go. Facts.
Like case in point, it's so ironic because DJ Dan is on here. I can remember playing with Dan at Visions on a Wednesday and seeing some of my people from Heroes, and they're like, "Oh man, we glad to see you here." Yeah, this not no Heroes crowd. So I say that to say this, my library is the first.
Mm-hmm.
I can hit the old school and I could do the new school in between.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's no problem for me. I'm not saying that to brag, but what I'm saying is, as a DJ, you got to know your crowd.
You got to know who you're playing for. That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not rocking no Cardi B at Visions on a Wednesday.
That part. You show right.
But that wouldn't be my first choice, no.
Yeah. And like you just said, I'm cool on the remixes at this point, man. I think, and I ain't gonna lie, part of that came from you. I think I let Nike influence me on that a little bit. Because at his sets, don't play no remixes. You have to peel him off the ceiling. He can't stand it, but for me, like, I don't mind certain ones, but I'm still into the purity of stepping. I'm an original. I'm still into the let's dance to the song, because see, what a lot of people don't know is that the way the music is played also complements the etiquette of our dance. Now this is a quick educational moment. Back in the day when we danced, song came on, people danced, song went off. Men walked the ladies back to their seat, got the next lady, went back to the floor to dance. You had that break in between, that space. When we do some of these mixes and blends, and like you said, it's cool in moderation. Like, there are times where I will take about a 5 to 7, maybe 10-minute slot and just go ham. But then I cut it off and I bring it back down because we don't want, people getting burnt all out. Plus, I don't want to hear that all night. Now, I don't, that. So I know if I don't want to hear it, I'm sure there are other people who feel the same way I do. So I'm not real And most of the time when I do that, it's me blending off the rip, just adding this here, taking that out over there, doing that kind of thing. There are a couple of remixes that I will play, but they are closer in most cases to the original song than most people's mixes that they play.
Well, that's an edit.
Huh?
You see what I'm saying? That's an edit.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. That's an edit.
Now, I had a question. Miss Marquita Hill wants to know, what's your favorite city as traveling DJs? What's your favorite city to play in? Funny thing is, mine is Chicago. I love when I play at home.
Keita, don't do that. That's Keita out of ATL.
No. Oh yeah. Marquita Hill. Yeah.
Marquita, don't do that. Let me get close to the camera. Marquita, don't do that. Don't do that.
See, you just tell her, don't do that.
And
don't do
I can hear you laughing. I can hear you laughing from here.
She got jokes.
I can hear you laughing. Yeah. Well, I'll say this, again, and I'm just being honest. I feed off that energy, and some places are more comfortable than others. You see what I'm saying? I'm an energy type of person. I can't really explain it, but Miss Mary, I'll say this as an example, because I know Keita was there. Miss Mary had me down at Atlanta, and it was just a different type of vibe. A lot of times people, promoters, or I'll say this, like when people do a birthday party and they rent out a banquet hall, right? And it's your birthday and you invite these people to celebrate your birthday. That is a difference between people coming to a club weekly because they like that particular genre of music.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right. That's
what
brings them back.
To say this.
Yeah.
I say that to say this. There's a difference in vibe. People are coming here because they're celebrating you. They're not necessarily dancers. And I say that to say this because sometimes people will be like, I want them to get up and dance, but you got to realize your people probably not dancers. As opposed to being in a club, people come to dance.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
They come to celebrate your birthday party. They're not necessarily dancing. You see what I'm saying? Because as DJs, we all know the hot songs or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And if I done hit you with about 2 or 3 and ain't no movement out there, it is what it is.
Right. You already know they ain't the dancing crowd because that goes back to what I talked about earlier when I talked about playing a safe set. Automatically certain songs, people gonna get up. If you hit 1 or 2 of them songs, ain't nobody getting up, they not there to dance. It's just that simple. But you need to know which ones those are. Certain music you put on. It's just the bottom line. If you got any step in you at all, you're gonna get up. So yeah.
So Miss Mary said it was just a different type of energy in the building. Just a different group of people. You know what I'm saying? Some crowds are more lively than others. I'll say that. And me, I'm the type I absolutely I feast off of that. You see what I'm saying? So it was cool. We had a good time that night.
Well, we were in Minneapolis recently, and at Valerie O'Connor, her celebration of life for Mr. Henry and his passing, her annual event, Denim and Diamonds, we had a fantastic time. I played one of the day sets, and the crowd was moderate. It wasn't a lot of people in there, because one thing that I like about her event is she don't crowd you with 15,000 things to do all day, every day, the whole time you there. So the day set was kind of, it was a nice amount of people there. And the crowd was doing okay. And this is one of those times where, me, I'm playing my steppers music. I'm doing the thing, right? But DJ Shorty Smooth was sitting down there at the end of the stage, and I walked down there and I said, "Hey man, I don't seem to be getting the response that I really want out of these people." I said, are you noticing something? And see, I ain't scared to ask. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell anybody I'm going to always be a student of the game. And I know he got years under his belt. And I said, what do you think? And he said, I can tell you what it is. He's like, you playing too much steppers music. He said these ain't really steppers. They steppers, but not like that. You know. So he said, play more radio music. That was his last words to me. And I got up there and I went commercial. And, you know, and it picked up a little bit. So I was like, okay, all right, I get it now. I see, you know, his immediate read was, these ain't your people. These is more mainstream type. And it was funny because when he was playing, he did this little section, because Shorty Smooth was pretty slick with this, with the hip hop up tempo. When he just want to crank the party and just do something different right quick, and they stop stepping, he'll pump that up. He's cold at that, and that's the everybody boom on the floor. Hip hop, you know, they going to work. So for me, because I'm kind of rigid in my DJing, I don't really care too much to do too much other than stepping music. I can, but it's not really my wheelhouse. But in that room, we had people from doing Kansas City two-step. We had line dancers. We had everything in there, including steppers. So I had to make an adjustment to that genre. But it's like, as far as stepping music goes, one of the reasons I like playing in Chicago is because I can go there. Because I can play music that I know is them. They're gonna be like, oh, whoa, we ain't heard that one, you know, in a while. You know, I can nail. I know who's in the room. I know which set I'm at. You know what I mean? And so that's cool. But when you in a different crowd like that, you know, and see again, I'm still a student of the game. Gonna always be one. I learned something that day, you know, from a veteran. So it's always, you know, cool when you do that. Now, before we get out of here, I want to take this time to say to my audience, I want y'all to understand one thing. There is a DJ in our midst who, in my best opinion, never seems to get the accolades that he deserves publicly. And that is DJ Calvin. That dude right there, listen here. He done had his hands on all of us. And he is a master at this. Help me out, man. Tell these people what I'm talking about, because I don't know if they understand.
Okay, for me personally, whatever, you know, music I've done or remix a person may have heard that they like, et cetera, et cetera. For me personally, and I just told Calvin this story, I want to say the year before at the World's Largest, you know, that story of being in his basement and watching him show Raphael Acid Pro, you know what I'm saying, and how inspirational that was for me. And he was just chuckling. He was like, because he remembered exactly what I was talking about when I said the Michael Jackson song, but probably forgot that that was me that was even there. You see what I'm saying? But for me, because Calvin plays bass.
Oh, so I didn't know that. Okay. Dig that. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah.
Calvin remixes the bass line. Me and Tick was talking about this one time. The bass line is something that just moves you. It's the foundation of the track.
Right.
And a lot of Calvin's remixes, the bass line is there and it's just so solid. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I, again, like kind of feast off of that and feed off of that. I need somebody ahead of me to chase. You see what I'm saying?
You know,
Calvin has been that dude for me.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you
Calvin
like Ice Cube said, you done run 100 miles and you still got one to go. You chasing
100
that
miles
dude.
and running.
Come on.
100 miles and running.
Yeah, 100 miles and running for real. What you got, producer lady? You got something? Look, she'll be eating chicken wings, y'all.
I do. That man Kevin.
What up, P?
Question that he asked to J Boogie. How can he get promoters to hire him?
Oh, okay.
He used to DJ. He wants to get back in the game.
Well, we did that already. What was you doing? Eating chicken wings? Look. Uh-oh. Yeah, you going back in there. I'll be in there in a minute. Look. She didn't make it trouble, y'all. Let me reach back right quick. DJ Samela, you're absolutely right. Some of the songs don't ever need to be touched. I absolutely agree. But now, like with Calvin,
I've heard.
Huh?
But you know what? Let's talk about that for a second.
Well, hold on one second. I want to say this right here. Last time I was in the booth with Calvin, Labor Day weekend, I thought Calvin was gonna beat me up, man. Look, I had played a couple of tracks, and he was like, man, hey, I need that, leave that with me. And I was like, well, I didn't even remember what it was. I didn't remember what song it was. And he kept saying, man, I ain't playing, man. And he was dead serious. He's like, man, don't leave out here without giving me a song. I was like, man, hold on, all right, I'm gonna get it. He was holding me hostage, man, in the booth. But that's my dude. Much mad respect.
Yeah.
Bruh. Straight
that's
up.
That's one of the OGs in the game.
You know.
That's one of the OGs in the game.
Now go ahead. I was talking about what Samilla said about some of this stuff don't need to be touched.
I agree. Let me say that first and foremost, and I'm probably one of the, remixing this dudes, because certain songs are such classics, or ain't no nice way of putting it. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say this: because it's all perspective,
yeah,
and it's all your personal feel,
yeah.
And me and Cool was having this conversation. What we've noticed over the years, it's like competition. You know what I'm saying? People be remixing songs just to remix them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not necessarily making it better. Yeah. Like for me, it's got to be a rhyme and reason. Not saying that everything that I do is just cold. Hell no. Because I've worked on songs for weeks and weeks, get to the club playing.
Some people don't know how long it take to make one of them mixes, because you be trying to figure out the bass line, you be trying to figure everything out. It get complicated sometimes. You got to break them suckers down. And thank you, Phoebe Stewart. I appreciate you. Yeah, I was trying to do my job in there that day. Every time I come there, I'm going to give y'all the best that I got. Go ahead.
So it's personal perspective. You know what I'm saying? What some may say that shouldn't be touched, another person enjoys it. You see what I'm saying? And that's the sort of the beauty of our community, is that it's so diverse. I was just talking to Renee earlier today, and we was having a conversation about music, and like I was telling her from my perspective, okay, yeah, you may have people that want to hear something different. But on the other hand, I got somebody chewing my ear off because I didn't play their favorite song, which they asked to hear every single week that I see you. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
so you got...
But there's a balance that has to take place right there, because, like, I'm not real big on requests. If it's fitting... See, here, let me tell you like this. Keisha Reese, what's going on, baby? See, here's the thing. And oh, by the way, DJs that's in the feed, y'all put y'all's contact information in there, like the producer lady says, so in case anybody want to holler at y'all. What the hell was we talking about? You just
request. Yeah, come on with
I'm not real big, and here's the thing. I remember when I bought my first real controller, a regular old SB3 Pioneer. And I'm learning my way around that thing, right? And I wanted to learn my way around it so much. I felt like if I was ever in the dark, so I put a blindfold on, and I started learning to control that controller without being able to see it. And one day, Stretch and I were talking, and he started breaking it down for me we were talking about the music. And he said, hey, man, your job is to tell a story. You use your music to tell the story. Whatever the vibe in the room is, however you feeling, but you give it to the people so that they can use it to get through their day. And I said, So what that taught me was not so much of what any one song is, but the combination. It's almost like opening up a lock. You got to know what order, how to play, when to play, what to play, and who to play it for. When you understand that dynamic right there, you will always crack the lock every single time. Most people don't understand that concept. So it became necessary for me to really, this is where the studying part comes in. Yes, you're going to study this. If you're going to learn this and be good, you're going to study it. So when people come to me and say, hey, play this for me, I'll think to myself, will this fit my story? Will this go in? And here's what the audience don't recognize. And then it depends on how you play in the set. Because sometimes people play at a BPM. Now, y'all remember earlier I gave you education on what a BPM is. That is sort of consistent throughout a certain portion of the set. Some DJs will take it on up to 90 beats per minute. Some will bring it on down to 70 and switch it up like that, which is a good thing to do. Depends on what you're doing that night. Those are easier to fit a request in than somebody that's on a straight up mission. And depending on where the crowd is and how they feeling that night, that's gonna determine whether or not your request get played for me. So I don't know.
That money.
We just ain't some money. Shout
That's
out to
the quick-
DJ
I'm just
T-Rail. He
keep
tell you request $100 each.
Yeah, T-Rail. Yeah.
He be cracking me up with that one.
Yeah, because look, true story. Like when I was doing hip hop, right, and hip hop is a little different than stepping. You know what I'm saying? Like with stepping, there's an ebb and a flow. You see what I'm saying? There's peaks and there's valleys. Period. Hip hop is a little different because you're creating momentum, and you got to keep them engaged. So with that being said, like if the club closes at 2:00, for instance, you see what I'm saying? I'm starting to hit my stride at about 12.
Right.
To finish out them last 2 hours strong. So 1:00, you know, it's been so many times I've had somebody come to the booth and be like, you know, at 1:00 is prime time.
That's right.
A lot of people didn't get there at 11 o'clock, but 1:00 is prime time for hip hop. So I say that to say this. I'm not playing no damn Tamar Braxton at no 1:00.
What you said? What you said?
Everybody out on the floor, you know what I'm saying? And just in reference, I probably made it. I probably went through my hip hop and I probably made it up to 100 BPM, 110. I'm about to probably do house music. No, I'm about to do some house music.
Oh, you finna take it there.
Yeah. Here you come with, I want to hear Love and War. No, that ain't gonna happen.
Right. That's right.
And I stopped sending people off because I don't want you to keep coming back to the booth. What people don't understand is like clubs downtown, when you go downtown, you don't even have access to the DJ.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a reason for that because a lot of times their conversation is disruptive because we're already having an internal conversation, what to play, what not to play, etc., where to go, where not to go.
Going through your list thinking, okay, I'm playing this right now. What I need to put right here? What need to go right here? You know, I ain't like. So that's where my head be at sometimes.
So it's an internal conversation that most DJs are having, and it's not that we don't want to talk to you. It's just we're focused and being paid to create this atmosphere.
That's right.
I'll give you a quick story. I am known because sometimes people can be so disrespectful. Like when I used to be at Mr. Ricky's back in the day.
Yeah.
All them when I was in there was my people from, you know, I knew the majority of them, so it really wasn't no thing. But if a person would be so disrespectful and disruptive to what I'm doing, I would cut the music off to the entire club, both sides.
Shut it down.
Give you my undivided attention. Give you my undivided attention.
Shut it down and put them on blast.
Yeah, because true story. I told this one girl, hold on, and I'm listening in the headphones, and I'm telling her, hold on. She kept tapping me. And people that know me, because I tell this story all the time, she took the headphones off my ear.
Oh, that's doing a lot.
To get my attention.
Wow.
After I done told her, hold on, because I was in the middle of a blend.
Yeah.
So that's when I just cut the music off. Obviously, it must be Homeland Security. It must be national security.
Bruh, really?
So what do you need? It's not that I'm being an asshole, but you're not being considerate and understand that I'm doing 2 to 3 things already at once.
Yeah.
What you have to tell me, unless the club is on fire,
man,
what you have to tell me is not that
so
important. It could wait. And a lot of times people don't want to wait. And like I say, they be so disrespectful and mean to the DJ. That's why a lot of DJs get a bad rap. It's not that. Y'all just don't understand how many times people are disrespectful.
Yeah, they are. I had that happen once. I was playing a hip hop set, And young lady, you know, she would not leave me alone. And I finally gave her what I thought she wanted.
That ain't it.
Listen, no, that's exactly what she did. Look, I turned that joint up. You hear me?
Okay.
She sat there the whole time running her mouth. Now I'm paying attention to her because she the one wanted this, right? Floor going, doing their thing. Everybody crunk, they turned up. She over there sitting down. So when I brought it back down, she come over there. When you gonna play something we can dance to? I was like, lady, if you don't get away from me, that's why I don't come here. See, hey. Get your ass away from me. I'm telling you now. Look, I'm gonna embarrass you. Man, look, you know, the bottom line is, and this is what I learned. And I told this story before. I played a set one night in Houston. And to my surprise, they literally stopped dancing and started applauding me. There was one guy in the room that I got wind of later on who said that he didn't care for my DJing. And that night taught me one thing. I don't care how good you are. There's going to be people who don't like you. I don't give a damn.
Oh yeah, you never.
And that's just the way it is. As long as the majority of the party is having a great time and doing what they're supposed to do, I'm gonna let you rest, buddy. You do your thing over there. Whatever that is. I'm sorry I wasn't able to please you. Maybe this ain't your spot. I don't know. Whatever.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
Because I actually had wrote this down earlier. You had touched on that particular subject earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for the general audience. If you're at a club, I don't care where you're at, two things. If you look at the dance floor and everybody's having a good time and you don't like the music that's being played, guess what? You're probably at the wrong club.
Probably in the wrong spot.
I say this because my library is diverse. You see what I'm saying? I can go from stepping to hip hop. You see what I'm saying? So I've seen a lot of examples of this where, like you said, the majority of the party, they kicking it, having a good time, and you know, somebody over there with, you know, with the face turned up, mad. It's not about you.
That part.
Everybody else having a good time.
That's right.
You probably in the wrong club on the wrong night.
That's right. This ain't your spot. This ain't for you. You probably need to be at the crib if you really want to know the truth. You probably ought to go home and go to bed. That's what you probably ought to do.
Yeah. Listen, it's been so many times I've been at Heroes and somebody coming in on Sunday night. And I only say this because I was at Heroes for years. And I know I've developed a reputation as the party DJ as far as when it comes to stepping, and that's cool. So I'll say this. If anybody is known for pushing the envelope of stepping, I would say, you know, I've earned that. You know what I'm saying? So somebody would come up to me and be like, you know, yeah, they'll step to some Glorilla. No, they won't. yeah, they will. You know, they'll step to that. And I'm like, this is your first time in here, ain't it?
Look, you should have told them, okay, well, then next week you play for them.
Yeah, right. Well, that ain't gonna happen yet.
You see?
So I say that to say this. I tell them, I'm like, you really don't realize who you talking to. And I'm not saying that, you know, I'm
no, but I mean, hey, facts is facts, bro. Facts is facts. You know, sometimes we have to say what we gotta say, and it may sound arrogant, but it is what it is.
I only say it to say this. If anybody would be known for playing some Glorilla, Cardi B, whatever, it would be me.
Dig that.
And if I know that, like sometimes they request be, it just don't even work BPM wise.
Right.
One, you requesting a song that's 65. That's like, and for the general public, 65 is like closer to walking.
Yes, it is.
speed.
That's slow. That's down there.
You see what I'm saying? Yes, that's a popular rap song, but it's too slow for people to step to.
Right.
It's too slow.
Got to stay in your lane.
Yeah, man. People a lot of times just be
smooth,
you know, too far.
Smooth say, if you're not paying the DJ, stay out the DJ booth.
Who said that?
Smooth Greenwood. He say, if you not paying the DJ, stay out the DJ booth.
I've experienced that as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people don't know that as DJs, we're under certain requirements musically by the promoter or the club owner. they tell you, you know, up front, I don't want to hear this, I don't want to hear that. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Facts.
I direct them all the time. You got to talk to the promoter or the birthday girl.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? I tell
Facts.
people all the time.
Facts.
I gotta appease the person that paid me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my part.
That's
You
right.
see what I'm saying?
Look, Mike Flex just put on there. I was just getting ready to say Mike Flex just said Nike. Nike is just, listen, he got a particular artist. Don't play that music. He don't like mixes. He cutting the check. Guess what I'm not playing? It ain't rocket science. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's really not. You know what I'm saying? You gotta kind of work with the client to be able to incorporate their vision of the night.
That's right.
Every night is not going to be the same.
Yep.
So with that being said, you know, promoters have to hire the right DJ for the right night.
That part. All right, J Boogie, we getting off of here, man. I've been on here with you too daggone long. You done strung me out, bro. You running your mouth. J Boogie.
I appreciate
Tell my people. No, hold on, man. Hold on. You ain't getting off that easy.
No.
Give these people some gems before you go, man. Tell them how you really feel. Give your shout outs, man. Say what you need to say to the people before we cut it loose.
I think you know, Raphael was very inspirational, and whatever you think about Boogie as far as, you know, being a party DJ, because like I say, what that man taught me 20 years ago still resonates with me to this day. So up and coming DJs, try to get with somebody that you admire or can learn from. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the only reason why I have learned and been able to navigate it successfully, as you may think. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people think I just fell out the sky at Heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
so you just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I just came out of nowhere. No, I never liked the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a journey for me to accept this quote unquote gift. Because it always just made me cringe, you know what I'm saying? So like recently I've accepted this gift, and it has caused me to be a little bit more comfortable.
Well, that's a good thing, brother. Well, you know, the rest of the community embraces you, so that's what's up.
And I embrace the ratchet self too, because it's a lot of ratchet.
Yes, it is. All our dysfunctional family members. You understand me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What they say, you can't pick your family.
That part right there. Because I tell you what, man. I understand your sentiment, because I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Part of what keeps Inside Steppin' alive and going is the fact that people do recognize and acknowledge what we do here and why we do what we do. Because this is truly a labor of love, much like the DJ game. Because of that, it allows us to continue to provide and share the gift that we've been bestowed with the rest of the people, and make it so that if it takes a little bit of pain and pressure out of their life, if it makes it a little bit better for them, then it makes it even greater for us. So, you know, to be able to have that ability, because everybody ain't able, and everybody ain't gifted, and everybody ain't blessed, not with this. So since we've been, go ahead.
I was having this conversation with Sharnice as far as just to piggyback on what you just said. Me and Sharnice was having a conversation about keeping this thing going. Because without the new blood, this thing dies out.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, being an ambassador and embracing certain things, and going back to what you said before, cutting out that division.
Cut it out.
I thought that was so informative, your last show, when you said that certain things didn't come about until it was implemented in the world's largest.
Yep.
I thought that was so informative. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, because I was around it, but because my roots was in Steppin', I just was younger and went off to do hip hop and would, you know, dip back in from time to time. Listening to Shine, you know what I'm saying, and ShySteppin.com, I had no clue all that stuff was going on. You know what I'm saying? But like she said, you know, she was going out 4 or 5 nights a week stepping. You see what I'm saying? I'm just, you know, filling in every once in a while. But you know, I know a lot of people, but I had no clue that all of that was going on. So that was so informative.
And so informative. What makes it better, man, is see, that's why, you know, a lot of people sometimes they cringe with my transparency on this show, but others understand that the whole reason that I do this is because I'm looking toward the future, which is why I discuss the past so much, because it's necessary for us to bridge those gaps. It's necessary for us to reconstruct those damaged or destroyed bridges and understand one another. You have a period like Sunshine was discussing last week, which we're going to get into even deeper next week, where the old school and the new school kind of had where they was starting to become like oil and water. And when I say old school and new school, I'm talking about the original Steppers versus the Y2K version of Steppin. And because of the fact that, and this is where I admonish my own people in our roots, that, you know, we tend to, when we get older, we tend to reject new stuff, change. And when we do that, we do not only ourselves a disservice, but we disconnect ourselves from the potential of the future and the new blood, like you talking about, which is something that we should not be doing. We don't have to be mutually exclusive. We can coexist, and we should be coexisting, and we should be coexisting with the ability to become hybrids. If I'm an original stepper, but I know that the system everybody is dancing with now is a revised version of the same format, why can't I understand both? Being an older stepper and rejecting the new steppers reminds me of this analogy. You have people who will turn their nose up at a person who is Spanish and speaks Spanish or speak some other language that they also speak English, and you call them dumb for speaking their language. Well, that don't make no sense, because clearly they're smarter than you. They can speak both languages. Can you? They could talk over your head. Can you do that? Same thing with this dance. If you can do both sides of the dance, if you can do both versions of the dance, guess what? That makes you stronger in your understanding of the dance, which means that the originals should be understanding the new version versus, as well as the newer dancers should be become double-breasted by understanding the original dance. Therefore, the division is gone. We don't have that problem no more. That's it.
I agree.
And Maddie B, I see you talking about I can understand, but I don't have to like it. No, you don't. You absolutely do not have to like it. You don't even have to do it. The point is, understand it. Let me tell you something I learned years and years ago. Because I'm a person of conflict. And when I say that, I've always been that dude that I don't mind confrontation. That's kind of my thing. And what I learned was you have less conflict when you understand your adversary. See, when people argue in life, in general, every day, we get out here and we get with the people around us and we have disagreements and misunderstandings and these type of things. And generally, when we start going back and forth with each other, we're going back and forth with each other to respond because we want to get the next clap back. But if you stop for just a second and try and understand why this person is approaching you the way that they are, is it really even about you? If you stop just for a second to try and understand that person, the venom that you have in your heart for retort or response or retaliation, it tends to slide off a little bit because you start to understand that the problem really ain't about you. It's about them. So now you are able to deal with it differently and better. Same thing applies where this dance is concerned. No, you don't have to like it. You don't even have to, you ain't got to do it, but understand it. Then that way, you don't have to sit there and go, I don't like that. I don't like that. You say, well, they doing what they do and let them do their thing. Because guess what? We can't tell nobody how to move, how to function, and we definitely can't tell folks how to spend their money. So, hey.
Period.
There it is.
Point blank, period. Listening to understand instead of respond.
That's it. Listen to
Absolutely.
understand.
Absolutely.
When my wife and I have been fortunate enough to have been chosen by many couples for counsel, one of the things that I tell people in serious relationships or marriages, if you really want to get to the bottom of a problem, because you'll listen to two people bicker, especially two married folks, they'll go back and forth with each other, be at each other's throat. But I tell them this: you really want to get to the bottom of it, both of y'all be quiet. Get out a pen and paper and write down what you want to say. All of a sudden, things tend to get real clear for the person that's wrong, because now you got to write that down. Now you got to articulate that in words, not just your little quick comebacks. You got to tell this person how you actually feel and what you actually thinking. And by the time you write down some of that nonsense, you're going to realize how stupid you sound. And guess what? Argument over. Feel me?
You know what? Yeah, I've witnessed that time and time again in life in general.
Argument over.
A lot of times it's a issue of accountability. A lot of times adults don't be accountable. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. You're gonna be wrong.
That's right.
I've encountered a lot of adults that just act like they're gonna explode if they're wrong. That's how you grow.
That's how
and
you
I'm
grow.
talking from
You got to
personal
be
experience.
able to. You remember what I said earlier about not taking yourself too seriously as a DJ? Same thing applies to being a man, being a woman, and otherwise. It's okay to be serious about what you do, but when you start taking yourself too seriously, you be ashamed when you made a mistake. There are no mistakes. There are only lessons. Learn that.
Opportunities to learn. Opportunities to learn. Absolutely. I agree with you.
You have an
100%.
opportunity to grow. Use it. And if we can learn both sides of this dance and understand what it is that we doing and why they do that over there and why we do that over there, guess what? The community grows. We all grow from that. It's a beautiful thing. DJ Boogie, look here, man. I thank you, brother, for coming through and hanging out with your boy. Here I done did another one of these damn 2-hour interviews.
Yeah,
damn
damn, it's that okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
I ain't know you had that much to say, sir. I'm messing with you.
Hey, man.
But hey, man, when I'm getting that good information out of people, I can't walk away. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But look, man, I appreciate everything, brother. Thank you for coming through. And man, I'm looking forward. I'm gonna holler at you in a couple of weeks. I'll be in town. We can hang out or something, man. Break bread. Matter of fact, I didn't see Ambassador on here today. I'm gonna have to call him. But yeah, but we got to connect up, man, and I'll come through your spot while I'm there.
Okay, no doubt.
All right. You have yourself a wonderful night, brother, and I'm gonna holler at you
Peace.
real soon. Peace out.
All right, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was my man DJ J Boogie in the building. Great conversation. I always love, man, when people got this information, y'all. It is wonderful. It was wonderful. All I can say is, and I'm gonna end the way I started. And Miss Maddie B, this is for you as well. Now, one thing we all know about Miss Maddie B gonna hold you accountable. She gonna hold your feet to the fire, baby. And a real friend tells you what's really going on with you. And they let you know in love, not in pain, not in anger, not in hate. They want you to be the best that you can be, so they're going to give it to you 100. Miss Maddie B, we know you good for that. So I said that to say that we all must be better about educating one another, helping one another, and moving the ball forward collectively. However, let me also say that in as much as we are willing to do that for our friends, also be willing, able, and open to receive that same love from those around you when they are trying to lift you and make you better. It ain't nothing to be ashamed about, nothing whatsoever. It's all about growth. There are no losses, only lessons. Y'all remember that. Don't forget it. I'm going to see y'all on the wood, and we're going to talk to y'all next week with part 2. Get ready. Part 2 of Sunshine. And the class of 2005. I want everybody to have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful night. I'm going to put up my little quote that I like to say because I want y'all to keep this always in the front of your mind and on the top of your head as you move throughout this community. Never measure an event by the quantity of the people in attendance, but by the quality of memories you create with the people who are present. And that is a necessity, y'all. We got to make sure that we enjoy those, no matter how big or small a set is. Be there to fellowship and have fun and kick it with your people and understand who they are, what they are, and why they're there, why we're all there. We there for the music, baby. We there for the party. We there to do what we do. We there to love on each other, whether y'all like it or not. I love y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Have yourselves a great night. I'm going to holler at you in a second. Peace out. The views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of its host, Urban Arts Enterprises, its advertisers, or affiliates, and are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.